What's up, YouTube fans? Today we're going to be unboxing the FansToys Terminus Giganticus FT-20G, or the Blue Guardian. So I've waited a long time to get my hands on this. Full disclosure, opened it just to make sure it was complete, but I haven't actually taken anything out of the box. So let's take a look at what we got here. On the box itself, you got the renders here on the front. I did not buy 3 like it shows you. On the back, we got product images, and we have an actual bio there. I think it's the same bio as what we had on Terminus Giganticus, the regular version, which is Omega Supreme. So I believe it's the same. So let's get this guy open. I'm going to set it up here so you can see how it looks when I unbox it. All right, so we're starting out with the FT-20A. This is the A. There's A and a B. It comes in 2 parts. This particular figure came with both parts together in one box, but now it comes all together in one box. So here's A. So we get the tracks or his wings on the back. Some nice details there. Got some silver paint. That looks pretty good. Again, more silver paint. It has a little bit of swirly gray on it. You know I'm not a big fan of that. But we got a replacement chest plate here, done in just a blue with some silver. Let's get this out of here. We're going to need to open it anyway. So it looks like it's got a Autobot symbol embossed there. Looks pretty nice. I get this, and we have the alternate crotch plate there to cover up in case you don't like the color they have. We've got the shoulder bits here, done in some blue. I can see some die cast there. Nice blue paint on the shoulders. There's the back. You got Danger and Star. Looks really good. You get all this styrofoam off of it. And then here's the tank. Big beefy tank. And this particular one came with this symbol. So just in case, I don't think this is part of it. I mean, this is from some customizer. Basically, they are making 3D printed symbols. This looks really good. Whoever made this. I don't know if it's J-Ream or someone else. I think it's someone else, but that looks great. I'll definitely put that on there. Like I mentioned, that doesn't come with it. So there's the tank. Non-charge. You got some nice blue paint there. Here's the back. There's the face. That looks gorgeous. I remember watching a review and they suggested turning the face around so you can hide. Let me see if those lights work. Oh, the lights work. That's cool. It's got batteries in it. But it looks better with that turned around for the tank. So, all right, and there is FT-20B. So let's take a look at what we have. We have arms. Nice silver paint there on the hands. There's a light here. I don't know how to turn that on. That looks really good. Really good. Here's the other arm. All sorts of logos on it. I wonder... I guess these came with the tampos. Non-8401. There's an arrow there. It looks really good. Really good. Here's the leg. It says no step. You got a little symbol there. Some silver paint. Light blue paint there. Pretty good. And here's the other one. Alright, here are all the parts ready to go. And we are going to assemble it together on camera. I actually looked online and there's not really any videos out there for this guy. So it seems like it was worthwhile to do it. So we're going to start with the tank. Let's set all this stuff aside. And the tank is actually almost fully in tank mode. The only thing that's not is the little turret. So you can, if you were going to put it in tank mode, you'd flip this out, rotate around, and you'd have that little turret right there. So that's the tank mode. Pretty nice, actually. But let's get him transformed into the combined mode. So we're going to first start with this piece right here. Lift this up, fold that down, and then tab that in. Lift up this shoulder side piece here, and that's going to come down and tab in to the side. Alright, same on this side, lift that up, fold that panel in, get that all the way down onto the side, and then lift up this, bring this down, tab it in. Right, come to the front here, we're going to open up this panel. You can just accordion this back and let it sit right there. We're going to come to the other side here and take care of this. So open up this panel right here. I'll tell you to take this entire head thing and rotate that down like that. So come to here. We're going to slide these down, or not slide, rotate these down. That, and then you're going to slide this up. Going to open up these panels here and just let them sit. So pull them down on these die cast pieces. These are all a huge piece of die cast in there. And that's going to allow you to take this whole piece, lift this up, just get this as compact as you can because you can rotate it around. You do have to lift this up and out of the way. So it's going to clear around there. Then you can come back to the side and this can just sit down like that. These are going to come back up and peg back into the side of that chest piece. Alright. These legs, you can just kind of leave them where they're at right now. That piece is going to sit there. You're going to open up these panels. That's going to sit. It's just a covering piece, but basically sit right there. This actually pegs into the back. Alright, now let's take care of the legs. So we'll open up these panels here. And I haven't done anything else other than what I just showed you. You're going to take this and come to the side, open up these little panels right here. And that's what holds the leg in. These little things are going to slide onto this square peg right here. So make sure that makes its way on. Slide it all the way back. And then there's another square peg here that's going to go into this side. So it lines up pretty nicely. There's not really a lot to worry about there in terms of like the alignment. Same on this side. Line those up. Make sure all those pegs make their way in. And close that up. Alright, now let's take care of his backpack, which looks like this. Comes configured this way. So open up these panels here. Come to the inside here. You're going to rotate these. They're on really strong die cast ratchets there. You're going to rotate that all the way around. And then you're going to lift this up. There is a tiny bit of blue paint right here, so I'm not sure what that's from, but I don't see any issues on these. There's just styrofoam on it. Same on this side. Rotate this around. Very strong ratchets, and then bring this out. So there's a couple of pegs on here are going to fit onto there. So there's a slot right here that's going to attach to this peg right here. And then a peg right here that's going to go into his back right there. So just make sure you get all those. And then these two pegs on the front are going to go into his chest right here and here. So you got to make sure all those make their way in. The best way to do it is do the front ones first, then these top ones, then these back ones. I'm going to do it in that sequence. Hopefully I can get this all on camera. So we'll get the front down and get this pressed in. That was pretty easy. Then we'll press the top in. That was also pretty easy. And then we'll press the back in. And the last bit here, of course, is the arms and the wings. So here's the arm piece. This one needs a little bit of configuration. You're going to open up these little pegs that hold this in. Pull this out all the way until you reach the point where there's places to tab these back in. And then tab them back in. I have been told that there are some delicate parts on this. I don't know if this is one of them. But you just want to be careful. Open up this panel here, flip this all the way out, and then close that back up. Open up this panel. All right, and we got to get it onto this peg here, and it actually has, if you look at it, a solid side on the back, but then a slotted side on the front, top, and bottom. And that's just the way it came configured in the box. Yours may be a little different, but at least mine, that's how it came. So you want to have this so that this door ends up on the side that has the open side, right? You don't want this on the flat side. So for this particular instance, we're going to slide it from the back, and this is going to fold down and slot into that slot. Right? And we can rotate this around so we get the right painted side on front, and then bring this down. So that's one side done. We'll do the same thing on this side. Open this up, fold this out, open up this panel. We have the flat side on the back. I'm going to slide from the back, fold this down, rotate this around, bring this down. All right, the last bits here are the wings, of course, and you're going to take these. There's two little pegs here. You're going to slide into his back plate. You can see there's two holes there on both sides. Actually goes all the way through. So just slide them in. They're actually symmetrical, so it doesn't matter which one you put on which side and which you insert it. They just go in there. They're pretty firm, actually, but it does make him back heavy, so just be aware of that. All right, and the last little bit here is the head. So we're going to lift up this panel. We can turn the eyes on. I'm not going to turn them on. I just want to rotate the head this way, bring this back down. There's that gorgeous face sculpt with the metallic blue eyes. That looks really good. All right, and there is FT-20G Terminus Giganticus transformed into his robot mode, and it is very impressive seeing it fully assembled like this. It's very large. We'll bring in some figures for comparison a little bit later. But I wanted to mention the chest. I forgot to show that piece of the transformation on camera. Now it's going to be a little bit challenging, but hopefully you can see this. We're going to come to here, and this actually was like this with the wheels, the rollers for the tank. And you can actually remove this. So if you just slide it to the sideways, if you don't like the translucent piece here, you can swap it out with this solid piece. That's an option. Obviously, you can do whatever you like. Me personally, I think I do like the solid piece, but totally your choice. Now, I wanted to show you some things now that we have this off. We can just get it back in there. You're just going to put it on an angle and then put it down there. And now let's take a look at what's in here, because there's actually a matrix chamber. And people wonder, well, what goes in there? Well, you put the MP10 matrix in there. I thought that was really cool. I didn't know that they had a matrix chamber, but there you go. You can put the MP10 matrix in there. You can close that up. You can close that up. Pretty cool. And then I do have this fourth party, I guess, third party edition, I don't know, panel here for the chest so that we can have a nice big Autobot symbol. I'm probably going to have to put a little bit of sticky tack. Oh, well, that went right in there. It didn't come off. So that looks really, really good. I like that a lot. I definitely prefer that over the translucent, but it's nice to have the options, whatever you like. You have another option here for the looks if you want. They give you this gray panel, so if you don't like the blue here, you can plug this in right here. It's a little tab that's in the slot. Go right there. So you can plug that into the slot. It's pretty tight, and then it fits over there. Kind of a choice. It's up to you. I'm going to have to look at the cartoon to see which one's more accurate. All right, let's go over his articulation. The head is on a ratchet. If you lift up this, you can clear these wings. You can rotate all the way around. You can open up the mask here, although I wish he had some upward and down movement on the head. He doesn't. He only has rotation, like DX9 has up and down. But the face, by the way, is painted in a nice gray with metallic blue for the eyes and silver for the head crest there. For the shoulders, these rotate all the way around on a nice strong ratchet. This is fully painted, by the way. Let me just point out the paint while we're here. Fully painted shoulder, some paint here on the accents, some paint accents here, and some tampos. The silver you see here, the red you see here, the blue, and the silver accents and gunmetal accents you see are all painted. The fingers are painted silver, gunmetal here, a little more black paint here, this light blue here, and then all the tampos. That's pretty much all the paint. Everything else you see is the just colored plastic. Continuing on with the articulation, shoulder can go up to here on a ratchet here at the rotation bicep. It is at a cut joint. 90-degree bend at the elbow. The canning can open up here, and there's actually a light switch right here. You can turn that on and you get that light up feature there, which is kind of cool. I think the batteries are probably a little weak, but I didn't put the batteries in. I don't think it comes with batteries, so I have to imagine whoever had this before me did put the batteries in. But on this hand, you do get a ratchet at each joint. So you get a bunch of clicks in, a bunch of clicks out, 2 clicks at this one, and then 2 clicks at the fingertip. So some nice movement there on the hands. All right, coming down to the hips, we have this joint here, like I showed you earlier, and you do want to use that to balance him. So if you have the arms out, you want to have it kind of aim forward a little bit. That'll get him, leaning back. So it's a nice design. I think it's a good idea, but I do think the DX9 design for those hips are a little bit better because it's a little more stable. But it's nice that they thought of that so that you could have him in more dynamic poses. The hips will go up to here. You have to kind of work with that joint to be able to get it up higher, but it does work. You can rotate this down. It's a little less than 90 degrees on that knee bend, so you do have to kind of work with it here. I don't like how the knee feels though. It does feel a little bit on the wobbly side, to be honest. Ankle tilts, you get 1 click down, 1 click back. But that's it for articulation. And for a size comparison, there it is next to DX9 Gabriel, their version of Omega Supreme. And I actually waited a long time because I thought DX9 would eventually release the blue repaint of this guy. Now watch that. Now that I bought this guy, it'll probably come out. But since they never did, I finally went off and got the blue FT version. But you can see they're pretty similar in size. But height, their shoulders come about to the same, the head's about the same, maybe a hair taller on the FansToys, but overall pretty similar. Now what's different is the wings on the FansToys goes out much wider than the DX9. Some people might like that, some people might not, but pretty similar overall size and scale on these guys. And there's another comparison with the Zeta Toys Superion. You can see he towers over him, so he's going to tower over the standard combiner robots in your collection from Zeta or DX9 or any of the others. And for fun, there it is next to the Hasbro version of Blue Guardian, and you can see again towers over him. Now this is actually the version I'm replacing, just because I overall like the size and the look of the FansToys. But this is a really nice version of Blue Guardian, so if you can pick this one up, it's a nice alternative to trying to hunt this guy down. And because it's tradition, there it is next to the Magic Square version of Optimus Prime. Comes up to about the middle of his thigh, but you can see it towers over him as well. So final recommendations on the FansToys FT-20G Terminus Giganticus. I'm not going to do final recommendations because I didn't actually transform it into his base mode. But in robot mode, I really like the way it looks. You got some really nice paint detail, shoulders, on the chest, on the shins, and the claws themselves with a nice shiny silver paint. All of that looks really good. All the tampos stand out. It really is the biggest figure I own, so it's pretty imposing as far as shelf presence is concerned. And overall, it just has a good look to it, pretty darn close to the cartoon, which is what FansToys typically goes for anyway, but still has that detail and that extra details that you expect from FansToys. Now, where I think this has some weaknesses is the joints at the hips and the knees. Those two areas, it does seem a little bit on the weak side. It's not falling down or anything. It's still stable when you pose it. It's still stable when you stand it. But they do feel a little flimsy, especially when compared to the equivalent DX9. The hip joints and the knee joints are really solid and they feel really good. And they actually articulate a little bit more than FansToys. So that was kind of a surprise to me. I was surprised how limited those were. But you're not going to really put him into crazy dynamic poses anyways because it's a giant bot and you probably can't have it taking up that much room anyway. But still, it's noted that it is limited, more limited. Other than that, I do like it. I did like the tank mode. I'm not going to get it into the base mode here, but I imagine it looks great. It's just, do you really want to invest and try to find this guy? Now, when this guy came out, he was actually really cheap. It was the same price as the original, and he sat on shelves, so they had a hard time selling it. But once it sold out and became hard to find, it was a limited edition, then the price shot up, and now it's really hard. So based on the current situation, I'd recommend, if you're looking for a Blue Guardian, to go with the Hasbro version. You can get, multiple of those for the same price of this. But that's it for today. Thanks for watching. Hopefully you enjoyed this quick review, and we'll see you next time.